What are you doing?
Now, Red Solo Cup is the best receptacle for barbecues, tailgates, fairs, and festivals, and you, sir, do not have a pair of testicles.
Good. Using kinetic energy, a ping pong ball is thrown into this red solo cup, which is fastened to a piece of PVC pipe. The ball's gravitational potential energy transforms into kinetic energy as it rolls down the pipe onto the table. The ball will then knock over a series of dominoes, which are on this table as well as on the stool right here. As the dominoes fall over, the two golf balls will travel down two separate paths. So in this first path right here, the first golf ball's gravitational potential energy will transform into kinetic energy as it rolls down the ramp, colliding with a piece of wood right here, which is securely right next to a power bar. As this power bar turns on, the kinetic energy of the golf ball will be transformed into electrical energy, as well as thermal energy and wind energy, because a hairdryer will be turned on, which is used later in the other steps. And this lamp will also be turned on for show. In this next step right here, the golf ball will travel down the ramp and the gravitational potential energy will be turned into kinetic energy. It will continue to travel down the ramp, take a 90-degree turn onto another ramp as gravitational potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy, and a Jenga tower will be knocked over, which at the top is in the form of a simple trigger. As the golf ball collides with the Jenga tower, the simple trigger will release and the car will travel down another ramp as gravitational potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy. The car will then collide with the series of Jenga blocks, which are also directly next to another golf ball and an angled wall. The golf ball will then travel down the ramp, gravitational potential energy turned into kinetic energy once again, and it will then collide with a series of books in a domino-like fashion. Since this string is in a pulley-like fashion, as this last book hits this string, the tension in the string will cause this red solo cup to lift upward. Underneath the red solo cup, there's a golf ball. So as the cup moves upward, the golf ball's gravitational potential energy will transform into kinetic energy as it rolls down the ramp and makes contact with another simple trigger. This simple trigger will cause this mallet or hammer, which is secured with a rope as a pivot point at the very bottom there, which you probably can't see. The hammer, or mallet I should say, will then swing around, colliding with this piece of wood, which is causing our teeter-totter to be in this like fashion with all the weight on the right side. As the hammer hits this piece of plywood or wood or the mass will fall off the teeter-totter, causing it to move the other direction past equilibrium. This green ball right here will then fall off the teeter-totter, and since this hairdryer was turned on in a previous step, the hairdryer will propel the ball forward into the red solo cup. And in this process, the gravitational potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy, and as the ball moves forward, the wind energy from the hairdryer is transformed into the kinetic energy as the ball moves toward the red solo cup tower. This tower, again, is in the form of a simple trigger at the very top. As it falls over, the simple trigger will release, and this ping pong ball, which is also on another ramp, so its gravitational potential energy will transform into kinetic energy, will roll all the way down. And if you can see right here, there is another spring secured with some tape. As the ping pong ball makes contact with the spring, the kinetic energy of the ball will be transformed into elastic potential energy, and the ball will move upward into our little funnel and move down another ramp right down here, and its gravitational potential energy will be transformed into kinetic energy. The ball will then make contact, or I should say collide with this little piece of wood, which acts as a backboard, which will then travel down another ramp, gravitational potential energy transforming into kinetic energy, all the way, and finally completing our trick shot into the red solo cup. Yo, I just sung 2. That means ball's back, fella.
I guess it does.
Right, Minty? Oh, but I gotta do a trick shot, don't I?
If you want to.
I got no problem with that.
We got a problem with that, okay? No, it's okay. Stop it, okay? This is actually ridiculous.
Yo, I just sung both those. That means ball's back.
I guess so.
Thank you. Thank you. Means I gotta do a trick shot though, right?
If you want to.
Shouldn't be a problem. Now that's what you call a trick shot.
Now that's what you call a trick shot.